What up, gang? Back with another semen retention video update. Today is day 122 of my semen retention streak. Still no relapses. And today is day 2 of my weekend dry fast. And I thought it would be fun for this video, guys. I want to put you on some game here. If this is new information for you that you have not been exposed to yet, this is a game changer. Absolutely. So I would stick around and see how much of this you can make time to watch, because I don't know how long it's going to go, but I'm going to get into some really good stuff. If you're a man, you want to level up and this is exciting and you're doing semen retention, or you're open to this, you're not sure what it's about, whatever. If you want to follow my journey and see what I'm doing, just everything that I'm sharing with you guys as I go along, subscribe, follow along. I'm on day 122 with no relapses, guys. 111, as I said that. I didn't just luck out to get here. It's very much a system, a process, a step-by-step game plan, really, that has gotten me here. And that is what I'm sharing on this whole channel. So go back through the videos. Go see what I've been doing and sharing on. And before we get started, drop me a comment. Where are you at on your semen retention streak? Where are you at on your journey? What are you noticing? Physical shifts, internal shifts, mental shifts, spiritual shifts. You know, more female attention, less, more physical benefits, less. Let me know where you're at, what you're going through. I am very active in the comment section. So do that for me. And then one more thing, like the video, guys. It helps the algorithms shoot these things around to more men. So I appreciate it. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff. Like I said, today is day 2 of my dry fast. As I said, 2, it was 2. 2 minutes, 22 seconds on there. Today is day 2 of my dry fast, meaning I have not eaten or drank anything since Friday night. It's probably like midnight. I was eating late, I was working late, I was snacking late. So it's been 2 full days. Well, let's see here, what time is it when I'm doing this? It's like 5 p.m. right now. So it's like 41 hours straight. And I've been starting to get in this habit of doing dry fasts and pairing those with semen retention. Now, listen up, gang. If you haven't been using this dry fasting thing in combination with semen retention, you're missing out. You are missing out. It is, well, I'll say this. I have done many years of water fasts, including some 7-day water fasts, a 10-day water fast, tons of 2, 3, 4-day ones. I've done a 40-day juice cleanse where I'm just drinking astringent juices to purify the body, to get mucoid plaque out and everything. I've done like 7 or 8 liver detoxes, tons of kidney detoxes, tons of gut detoxes, ones that use fermented enzymes called Zen cleanses. I've done a bunch of those. I've done a lot of stuff here, guys. I've experimented. Why? Because when you're at rock bottom, you'll try anything, right? That's the whole point here. So for guys that want to be like, bro, you're too obsessed with it, you need to slow down. You need to take it easy. Bro, go hit rock bottom and ride that for 10 years, 12 years, and then come back to me with that same comment and see if you would still comment that same thing. 444. You wouldn't, because when you are that open and ready for answers, you will try anything. And that's what's led me here. I've done all these detoxes, guys, all these different fasting protocols. And I can tell you, the one that has been the biggest game changer for me thus far is what's called dry fasting. And it's avoiding food and avoiding water. And you'd be like, if this is new to you, you're like, what? How do you go without water? They say you can't go 3 days without water, right? How do you do that? That's impossible. Well, if you go back to my YouTube videos on this channel, there's a segment in there where I talk about my dry fasting journey where I went 5 days. And I'm still here. Wow. So that's not true. 3 days without water, I would call that a myth. Now, as you can see, I've got more energy than my last video. I'm in more of a chipper mood, upbeat, like taking on the day. And that's because I have more energy today. And there's something that happens. It's like that day one going without food or water, like I can do it and it's easy, but I could tell that my body was really, really kind of like working through some stuff. And I just decided to play it easy and rest basically for a day and a half and just slow down. But today, after starting the day slow again, kind of caught this burst of energy. And I've kind of hit this next phase where like, okay, now I've got a lot more energy. I'm getting up, cleaning the house, cleaning the apartment, getting some things done that I wanted to, like getting my shower filter added on and swapping the shower head to one that's nicer. Things that I've been putting off since the move that I just haven't finished up yet. I mean, I've got mountains of boxes everywhere that I'm going to tear down after this video and get things cleaned up. And I figured, hey, while I'm in this high energy mood, in this zone, let me put you guys onto some game, okay? It's coming. Patience. Pay attention here, guys. This is gonna be good, I promise. So why dry fasting? Isn't that a lot harder than water fasts? Isn't that harder than juice cleanses? Isn't that harder than some of this other stuff? Maybe, kind of, when you get started, yeah. But I'm to the point now where I genuinely think it's easier than a water cleanse. Because you're not consuming anything, guys. And here's what happens. Let me explain some of the value here. Number one, if you haven't heard of something called autophagy, comes from, I think it's the Greek, autophagy. It means self-eating, okay? Every night when you go to bed, guys, you're not eating or drinking. You're already dry fasting. You're already doing this without consciously being aware of it. And when you're doing this, your body finally like celebrates. You go to bed and your body's like, yeah, like he's asleep. Get the crew, get the janitors. And you bring all these guys in and they start cleaning up, and your cells basically start to go from this pulling everything in and consuming phase to we got to clear things out. It's spring cleaning time. Exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm like cleaning the house. I'm feeling good. Isn't that interesting how my body is mirroring a cellular reaction that, you know, after 40 hours of no food or water, my cells are doing this and now my body is wanting to do this. I'm like looking around here. I'm like, look at all this junk. I got to sweep the floor. I got to get all this stuff out of here. Clean up my environment. So at night, this is why when you're sleeping and you're not eating and drinking, your body starts to do this and the cells start to heal and get rid of all this junk. It's like all this stuff that they've accumulated that they can't get rid of. They're trying to pitch this garbage out now. And finally, they have a way to do it. The streets aren't empty with food coming in. Finally, the streets are empty and they're able to start shipping stuff the opposite direction. This is why when you wake up in the morning, it is called breakfast when you eat that first meal. If you do, break fast. You are breaking the fast, and now you're turning your body back from a healing state back into a consuming state. And from my experience and a lot of things that I've read, it's starting to make a lot of sense that the body really just doesn't heal very well when you're constantly filling it and feeding it and giving it all this food and everything that has to process. And then digestion, guys, takes up so much energy. Like sex and digestion, those things take up the most energy in the body. So you're consuming all this energy that your body can't use for healing, can't use for repair or anything like that. So this is the power even of like intermittent fasting, guys, which again, I would still go without food or water personally if I'm doing that intermittent fasting journey. But to wake up and not have your first big meal of the day till like 5 p.m. and that be your only meal, you'll probably get 15, 16, 20 hours of dry fasting in, meaning 15, 16, 20 hours, whatever, of autophagy, meaning your body is healing and repairing, your energy is going to be higher, your mood's going to be better, your mind's going to be thinking clearer, you're going to be more excited for the day to tackle stuff, right? You're going to be more ambitious. That's what I've experienced. Now, for those of you, 1111, my number is, I'm saying that. For those of you that want more information on this concept to look into, the first book, The Phoenix Protocol, just buy the book. I don't know what it is, 10, 15 bucks or something on Amazon. Get the book, read it. It's a game changer. Stick around here because I'm going to read through some of my notes in here so that you guys technically don't have to get the book. I'll tell you what's good in it, what has changed my whole perspective on dry fasting. The second book that has been a game changer for me, The Semen Gospel of Peace. Now you're like, Jason, what are you trying to do, man? Quit trying to push religion, stuff like that down my throat, whatever. This book, guys, used to be in the Bible. It's not. It got kicked out. And after reading it, at least reading the first section of it, I haven't gone through the whole thing, I see why it got kicked out. It's too good of information. It's too powerful. It's too empowering for you, for me, for anybody that uses this information, okay? So, stick around. Let me start sharing some of the stuff from these books. And again, what I'll say is this. Semen retention, guys, you're holding this energy. It's raising your vibration, but you need to aim this energy at something, right? I like to use my mind. I like to learn. I like to work on my business, my companies. Right now, I like to also aim this at dry fasting as opposed to working out right now. I'm in a different mindset right now of what I'm aiming at. I would encourage you, if you're dealing with physical ailments or any sort of dis-ease in your body, which, let's be real, probably the majority of you are. If you are looking to clean out and like get healthier blood flowing through your system or your lymphatic system, this is really, really helpful for this. Now, again, let me be very clear, guys. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I am simply going to tell you from my experience what I have done and some of the information that I have found helpful. And hopefully you can apply it and get some good results. If not, if it's a little out there, go do your own thing. There was a guy that commented on another video where I briefly mentioned this, and he was saying, I think it was Ramadan is coming up soon, and they basically do like a month of no eating from sundown to sun up, I believe. So it's like an intermittent fasting type thing, if I understand that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. You're going to start to notice, guys, a lot of cultures, a lot of religions, a lot of stuff, they incorporate fasting, right? If you're in the Christian space, you've heard of the Daniel fast, and all this other stuff. And I'm telling you guys, it is a way to move through blocks, move through emotional blocks, things that are in your way when life just isn't going right and things are falling apart. Prayer, fasting, and semen retention. Combine those things together, guys, and just lock in, okay? So, I want to talk about a few things about this. The Phoenix Protocol. I have a bunch of stuff highlighted that I'm just going to read through here. Now, here's the first point, guys. Dry fasting is not new. It was fully developed. It was a fully developed rapid healing therapy in Russia years before it was introduced to the West. The Russians are the best in the world at this, okay? They do it to this day. People literally fly out to Russia and do extended dry fasts for rapid healing, rapid recovery. They didn't have the resources when they developed this to like be doing what the West was and getting into pharmaceuticals and all this other stuff, and they needed to come up with a way to rapidly heal their people, heal whoever was needing it, and this is where they landed. So this is not some little made up thing. Okay, here's something that's interesting, guys. Drinking water, it feeds bacteria, viruses, and parasites. And this has kind of been the game changer for me. Because I've done water fasts. I've done all these other fasts where I'm still drinking water. And guys, parasites use that in your body to travel throughout your body. They use water like a little highway. So if you're fasting and like the idea is to like let your body start to eat off all these things inside that don't belong, well, they can move out of the way and they can move to different parts and like you're not really touching them. So here's the kicker. Pathogenic organisms can't make their own water, and as a result, they are eliminated by day 5 of the dry fast. Think about that. So I've had guys asking like, hey, what do I do for parasite cleanses? And what do I do for like just getting rid of maybe worms in the system or all this stuff? It's like, I've tried a bunch of stuff, and where I've landed is this. Dry fasting. It takes a little while to work your way up, though. But if you can, like just said, if you can make it past day 5, the parasites, they can't create their own internal waters, but you can. They're called endogenous waters. And I'll be getting to that later on. But guys, this whole concept of like, who's going to die first, the parasite or you? It's like obviously the parasite. But again, I will say this. Be really intentional with dry fasting to start slow. Try half a day. Try a day. Then take some time off. Try a day and a half. Take some time off. Try 2 days. Take a day off, whatever. Take many days off. And building up, get your nutrients up, right? Give your body enough in storage of nutrients and everything so that you actually can more easily last a while like this. Like I didn't used to be able to just like go 2 days without food and water. But I give my body a lot of nutrients when I'm not doing this, and I've kind of trained myself to do it. Now, here's another good thing. Dry fasting also turns on another process called autophagy. There was one more thing in here. Yeah, here it is. This is why the Russian doctors considered dry fasting to be the most effective form of fasting, because the body makes its own water, which they call water of life, okay? These endogenous waters, what I was just talking about. And I'll get more into that, but basically your body eats away these parasites, these organisms. It eats away fat, and it uses all this stuff to create its own internal water, which is why on dry fasting, I'm still peeing. I'm still getting rid of stuff. And you're like, I haven't drank any water in 2 days. Where is this water coming from? It's internal waters. My body is eating away and starting to flush and process everything. Now, dry fasting also turns on another process called autophagy. This process breaks down protein sources, but not muscle protein. And here's an important thing, guys. When you do this practice, which is why I love it, it switches on HGH, human growth hormone. It bumps that up, meaning it starts to protect your muscles. And guys, you can see this when dry fasting, it goes way back to like tribal days, when if we were to live in a tribe and the women are at camp and the men go out to hunt and we don't have any food, we are naturally shifting into dry fasting. Our bodies are healing, but it's also still prioritizing human growth hormone, protecting the muscles so we're not eating away at our muscles so that we have the strength to go out and actually find the game, shoot the elk, bring the elk back to the camp. Everybody feasts, right? We give the food away to the women, the children. Everybody feasts for a few days, and oh, we're out again. Time to go back, and it starts over. That's the origin of this. So this isn't something new. I mean, it's almost like, guys, so much of this information, even with semen retention, it's forgotten knowledge. It's knowledge that we're remembering. We're like rediscovering. We're not inventing it right now. We're just getting back in alignment with how we should have been living up to this point. Next. During the first 2 days of a dry fast, only water weight is lost. From day 3 to 7, fat is lost. After the fast, this water weight is rapidly regained. This weight gain is the body's method of restoring hydration to tissue to maintain proper protein synthesis. Big words, but I'll say this. In my 5-day dry fast that I did a few months ago, I lost 16 and a half pounds in 5 days, guys, of basically water weight and fat. Within about 24 hours, I put on over 10 pounds of water weight back on. It's wild. So this is a real thing. During a dry fast, toxins released from fat cells are processed by autophagy, self-eating, meaning your body is eating those toxins, in the liver that later exit the bowel as a dark orange sludge. This is how you really start to know, guys, that you are getting stuff out of your system. This is real. I have experienced this. Pretty gross. Urine becomes dark and cloudy as toxins and cellular debris are eliminated. Also true. I have seen that as well. Now I'm just going to rapid fire start reading more of the things I've underlined here. Here's a good quote. You cannot always control what goes on outside, but you can always control what goes on inside. 2222, as I said that. A water fast is not a fast. It's a water diet. Right? The Russians, one of the doctors, he discovered from clinical testing that when an external water is taken into the body, it's treated as food. Okay? So that's interesting. And that is also the reason why water fasts don't address human growth hormone and kick that up to protect muscle loss as much as dry fasting does. If there is any hunger at all during a dry fast, an enema will stop it. Interesting. Let's get into some of the good stuff here. Dry fasting is the first step to radical life extension because it maintains an extended period of autophagy to clean out years of stored intercellular trash and age markers to restore youthful cellular function. You ever heard the saying, cleanliness is next to godliness? That's where this comes in. The word autophagy is from the ancient Greek and reveals its meaning. Auto means self and phagy means to eat. The literal meaning of autophagy is self-eating. It's the body's self-correcting system that operates when digestion is interrupted. It's self-correcting, guys, meaning we live in this culture. I've talked about, the semen retention side of things, where everything is all about lust and just filling ourselves and taking. But the same thing is with food, guys. It's like food is everywhere. It's all about filling ourselves and numbing ourselves with this. And it's not how the body is meant to thrive, right? We're not meant to always be in a season of feast, right? You want a little feast, you want a little famine. You want a little feast, you want a little famine. That is why this autophagy concept, it is like the balancing of the feast, of all the feasting that we're doing, and this is why it's so powerful. Sleep is dry fasting. Sleep is a period with no food and no water that stimulates a nightly period of autophagy. Autophagy primary pathway for recycling cell parts, digesting bacteria, viruses, and damaged proteins, as well as delivering nutrients into cells and waste out of the cells. Healing is designed into our genetics to turn on during periods of not eating. Hippocrates recognized this phenomenon over 2,000 years ago. Sleep is a period for the digestive system. It's a rest period, and it resets the daily hormone system. Sleep allows your mind to perform memory sorting to send short-term memories into long-term memory storage. And I've got some thoughts on that too, because as I have gone through a period of not sleeping great, I've also noticed there are some memories that I have almost little to none recollection of, that some of my friends are like, bro, wait, you don't remember that? Like, you were there. I was like, was I? I'm like, not trying to be a bad friend here, but I don't remember that. Pretty interesting. More importantly, sleep tells the night crew to wake up and clean the place. And the cleaning crew that's gone in the morning, and it's the cleaning crew that's gone in the morning when you break fast. Exactly what I was saying. At night, guys, we have these cleaning crews come and clean everything up. Eating turns off autophagy. So if you have listened to what I've been saying so far, you're like, wow, this autophagy thing, it sounds pretty important. Wow. Keep in mind right here, eating turns off autophagy. This means that while you're eating and drinking, you are not being repaired. And the longer you don't eat or drink, the longer you are being repaired. I could pretty much stop the book right here, guys. That is the consensus of this. I would highly recommend you go buy the book, The Phoenix Protocol. Why is this information relevant? Because if you're on a semen retention journey, guys, I would assume you guys are, because that's pretty much the only content that I've put out on this channel. You are in a phase of wanting to level up and become better, become stronger, become more mentally strong with your willpower, and like more grounded in your actions, and, you know, aligning your actions with your purpose. All of this stuff. Would it not stand to reason then that the more unhealthy your physical body is, your vessel is, the more difficult it becomes to become that version, to level up and like operate from a place of your willpower and your purpose, and not be swayed by those external forces around you? Because what I have noticed is when I'm not feeling the greatest with my body, when I am like low energy and just like working through a lot of stuff, and I'm feeling the effects of what you could call dis-ease, my willpower goes down. I'm not as much of an immovable object, immovable force. And thus, it's easier to sway me into things. The mind really starts to switch on in these periods and say, oh, are you sure you want to be on semen retention? Want to feel so good to release right now? You've made it so far. Maybe you like deserve a reward. That reptilian brain, that animal instinct mind flips on, and like it's the angel and the demon conversation. They're butting heads again. Why? Typically, I find it's because my body is not energized. Maybe I don't have enough sleep, or as much as I would like, or maybe I've been cheating on my diet, and like, you know, I don't even like call it a diet, because etymology, guys, that why would you do something that you put the word die into it? That's dumb to me. It's like a life it, life it, not a diet. And I've just noticed, guys, my capacity to have this really, really strong willpower and desire to just lock in and keep the semen retention thing going, after going to visit family for 7 days over Christmas and eating what everybody else is eating, willpower started to slip a little bit. I kept it going, but I could feel it, okay? Something to think about. So if you're wanting to level up and you're like, this autophagy thing, is this real? Is This sounds like a cheat code. It is a cheat code. I'm telling you guys, it is a cheat code. This is another one of those things, guys, where semen retention is this thing that like maybe 1% of the men in this world are going to be able to do and achieve and actually take seriously. That's one thing that sets you apart, that can level you up, that can make you stand out amongst everybody. Absolutely. But then you can start stacking these things. Use the energy that you acquire from this to do another thing, autophagy. Oh, it sounds difficult though. Yeah, it's got a learning curve to it. It is a little difficult. That's why most people won't do it. And that's why it's so powerful, because it will make you stand out amongst the rest. It will give you an ability to rapidly heal and repair your body, according to this book and from my experiences. So why not do both of these things at the same time? Why not get to level up two things at exactly the same time that long-term, feed each other and speed up this process of becoming a better version of yourself? Why the heck not do that? Why would you want to avoid that, right? Autophagy is a type of housekeeping operation inside the cell. It's designed to deal with things brought in and to maintain the function of the internal parts of the cell to sustain optimal operation of the internal parts. This is an essential function, one that enables the cell to process materials, correct or replace the internal parts, and to later rid the cell of waste. Autophagy is strongly activated after 2 to 3 days of fasting and can have profound effects on healing and longevity. Extending the time in autophagy by dry fasting allows for more complex cellular repair. The housekeeping function cannot be maintained without being able to dissolve and recycle old parts in the cells, and that happens as a part of the cell called the lysosome. I'm not going to get into that. Is this making sense, guys? Is this checking out? What else do I want to talk about here? I have a lot of things highlighted here. Okay. Here's something that is interesting, guys. This was a game changer for me. On the third day of a dry fast, y'all gotta listen up to this. Like if you've been dozing here, listen up to this. On the third day of a dry fast, bone marrow stem cells are stimulated. Some big words, I'm not gonna get into that stuff. Your body literally, guys, starts to create stem cells. You know how people will like fly to Mexico or fly to these different countries to get stem cell therapy done, right? Where they take it out of, usually it's out of the umbilical cord from births that still have stem cells in them, right? Think of the power of the stem cells, guys. These cells can literally go into your body and become any cell, and they just like heal and repair everything, wherever that region is that, they get injected into or whatever. They just repair that area very quickly. So if people were to tear their shoulder muscle or something like that, a lot of people go and like inject this stuff into the area to let that help repair. What I've learned is after 3 days on this dry fasting, guys, your body actually starts to organically and naturally create stem cells again. It's like pulling it from your bone marrow. And it's your own cells, which means it's the most optimal, the most ideal for your body to use, as opposed to injecting stem cells from someone else into your body, right? That's not quite as optimal. Just think about that. Here's another spot that I underlined. It takes at least 3 days of dry fasting to activate the level of autophagy to replace the worn out cell organelles. But if you never stop eating, you can't repair at that level. I've used this saying a lot, guys, on this channel, and I got it from this book. In order to rise from its own ashes, a phoenix must first be burned. A phoenix must first burn. Semen retention. We are literally in the process of being this phoenix, guys, that is burning in order to rise from the ashes afterwards. Bigger, better, stronger, more capable, more valuable. Is the process of the burning easy? No. Is it necessarily fun? Not always. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. This is why most men can't do it. Most men can't make it through to this level. Just keep that in mind. I was talking about it the other, I think last night too in my video about this whole concept of slowly then all at once. It's like the plane needs a long runway, guys, to take off. And that runway, that's the phoenix, where the phoenix is being burned, and it's not fun, and you want to give up. But if you push through, eventually you build up all this speed and momentum, you take off, and finally the phoenix gets to rise from the ashes. That's what we're doing. That is what we are freaking doing with these SR streaks, and then aiming this energy at other things that we can use it for. One of the stories in this book, guys, just to give you one more example here. I want to quick talk about nature and the fact that nature is way more in alignment with this than we are. Not only just from the fact that nature, you're not going to catch an animal jerking itself off. You're not going to catch an animal wasting its sexual energy like that. It uses it literally for one thing and one thing only, and that's procreation. It's like when the animals are in heat and when it's time, that thing gets to work to make more life. You're never going to catch an animal jerking off, looking over the fence at some of the other animals. Like, guys, are you kidding me? Why the F are we doing that? It makes zero sense. Been programmed into a stupidly low frequency reality. It's like it goes against everything in nature. That's why when you know what they call post-nut clarity, it's like when you get done with something like that, you feel terrible. You feel a level of guilt or shame or exhaustion, or it's like your body's like kind of worn out. Yeah, it's just trying to tell you like that wasn't the move. No, that was the wrong move. But there's this other concept too about, I wanted to talk about fasting as well. Yeah, I know what the story is. It was either the guy, August Dunning, who wrote this book, or it was one of the doctors, one of those Russian doctors. But they share a story about how he had a dog. And the dog ran into the road and got hit by a car. And it was bad. Like the dog was like, the spine was messed up and like, it was bad. It's like the dog, probably not gonna make it. And what the dog did, guys, it like crawled into the barn. And it stayed there for 7 full days. It did not eat. It did not drink. The owner, he brought food, brought water. The dog would not take any of it because the dog fully understood that the body will not fully repair if it is eating and drinking. Those are separate processes. Stayed in there for 7 days and it walked out. Normal, fully healed and healthy in 7 days. 7 days. And this is what blew the guy's mind and got him actually on the journey to use it for himself. And I have to remind myself of this, guys, because would that mean that if we know this knowledge and are willing to act on this knowledge, that dis-ease in our bodies is something we almost have to like choose to hold on to? It's like we have to choose to keep running those programs. If we know that in just 7 days, we can knock that off and fully reset the body and activate stem cells to go repair tissues and all this stuff. And pretty interesting because I can just kind of feel it in my gut, guys, that I still it would still be optimal for my body to do a 7-day dry fast. And again, I've made it 5 days and I saw crazy effects from it and like really, really impactful things for my health. And I've kind of been in this season of like, okay, I'll do some 2 days on the weekends and like slowly start to work my way back up to it. But knowing this knowledge right here, it's like, wow, wait, you're telling me that in 7 days, I can practically reset my body? Something to think about. So this doctor, he tested the technique on himself first. He repeatedly performed 7 to 10 day dry fasts and even experimented with a 21-day dry fast. Start slow. Don't dive into that far, trust me. Through his research in supervising dry fasts on thousands of patients, he discovered that an 11-day dry fast is the optimal length of time to cure all conditions, and that no further length benefits are achieved by fasting longer. Now, I'm not sure I agree with that, but isn't that interesting? So they were saying the most optimal is 11 days, but this book actually recommends 7 days, which, again, that's where my next aim is. He recommends it is advisable to start with a 1-day dry fast, lasting 24 to 36 hours once per week. So this right here, guys, this is where you have an actionable step. Okay, Jason, this autophagy thing, it sounds cool. I think I could do this. I think this makes sense to use some of my SR retention and streak and everything to go all in on, maybe doing this dry fasting. How do I get started? Well, here you go. Start with a 1-day dry fast, lasting 24 to 36 hours, once a week. Over the next 2 to 3 months, you can increase the duration to maybe 3 to 5 days. And then he says, I made a star here, to cure serious illness, you will need to fast for a period of 9 to 11 days. It is advised to perform the 9 or 11-day fast under the supervision of a practitioner. And I would also highly recommend that. If you're going to go this long and try something like this, guys, save up some money, pay an expert, go somewhere where you're under supervision. It just makes it easier. Yeah, this is a good book, guys. This is one of the best books that I have bought. Let's give you a few more. Let's give you a few more good stuff here, because I have one more thing that I want to tie this to. Okay, this is the story about the dog staying in the barn for 7 days. And then this guy, so the Dr. Sergey, who owned the dog, after he saw that, he said, sometime after that, I got acute sinusitis. The pain was hell. When I tilted my head down, it brought me to tears. My reasoning was that such pain was primarily due to edema because there was no swelling. And I believe that's like holding on to, is that like holding on to water weight? Like your body just like holding on to water? He decided he would starve without water until the pain passed. And after the 5th day, the pain was completely gone. He had gone through all the symptoms of the disease. And this was his first experience of doing what his dog had just done to heal the dog's body. The body is able to self-regenerate and self-rejuvenate. These processes are launched under the influence of stem cells. During dry fasting, a process of intense body cleansing is initiated as the body rids itself of sick and old cells, creating space in tissues for new stem cells. Stem cells are propagated and released in the blood in higher volume to occupy these vacated spaces, therefore performing regeneration and rejuvenation of old organ cells with new cells. And that makes me think of one more thing too, guys. I heard this from some other men that had a lot of wisdom, and it checks out. This whole concept, guys, of when you are releasing, when your body is creating this fluid that's going to create life, do you realize that what it's doing is going to the best It's going to your organs, every organ of the body, and it's taking the best of the best cells, the healthiest ones, and it's pulling those and putting it into that fluid so that that is the fluid that creates that new life, the healthiest cells, because it wants the best chance possible of passing on a successful, birth, genes, genetics, DNA, life. It wants the best chance possible to make that happen. But what does that do to your body as a man? If you keep doing that over and over and over and over, your body's going to keep taking the best of the best cells, and then the best of the best aren't there anymore. So then it'll take okay, these are good enough, we'll take this, and then those aren't even good enough, and then it'll take the average ones, and it just keeps taking whatever is the best of what is available until the point, guys, where you have shit cells in your organs, and then you start to wonder, why is my body dealing with disease? Why is my body breaking down? Oh, that's just part of aging. Oh, that's just part of... Is it? Or is it an ignorance tax? Is that the tax you pay because you're ignorant and haven't learned this information or put it to use, put it to practice, prioritize this life force in you? Something to think about. Yeah, so this is fun. After 1 week of preparation and a recovery period of 3 weeks, the number of stem cells had dropped by the end of the 7th fasting day, but during recovery, the number of stem cells in the body soared. The experiment proved that after fasting, the body triples its production and release of stem cells, an effect that lasts for several months. It turns out that the regular practice of dry fasting can extend life in youth 15 to 25 years. Dry fasting forces the body to obtain water from cells. And that, by the way, is why you're going to experience you continue to pee. You're still releasing urine on this, and you're I haven't drank in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Oh, where's this coming from? It's internal waters, guys. It's eating away all these old cells, bacteria, parasites, fat, and it's using that to create new water. And here's one other concept. Man, this is a long video. I'm probably gonna have to make a part 2 on this, guys, because it's important stuff. Water holds frequency. Yes, we know this. When we do the test of the 3 jars of water and you speak life to one and neutral to the other, don't say anything to it, and then one you speak death and hate and all this low frequency stuff, you can see it. You go freeze them, and then you look at the patterns, the crystallizations of the waveforms and everything in these glasses of water, in the water cells themselves, and they reflect that, right? Love, hate, neutrality. One just looks normal, and then one looks really ugly and gross and deformed, and it's okay, water holds cellular memory. How do you think the body stores trauma, stores old memories and things that happened to you that you can't seem to work through? Wouldn't it stand to reason that the body is also storing that with cellular water memory? And we just learned that in this practice of dry fasting, it causes you to flush out all of the old waters, and your body creates new waters. You're quite literally, on a cellular level, guys, an internal level, you're flushing out the old you, the traumas, the things that you have to work through, which I believe is also why so many internal things have come up for me and emotional things to work through. All this stuff has popped up for me to process through as I'm doing dry fasting, because that's what's coming to the surface. That is exiting the body. You kind of have to experience it again. But then your body is creating its new endogenous waters by breaking things down and creating new pure water again. You become a blank canvas at an internal cellular level, right? You no longer may have to hold on to the unforgiveness or the pain or the anger or the hate or any of this stuff, because you flush it out and you replace it with a brand new canvas that you can start painting on again. So if you have any blocks that you're going through right now in life, or like any of that stuff that I just talked about, if this makes any sense, wouldn't it stand to reason that, hey, if I try this out and I can get pretty good at this, maybe that actually helps me work through all of this stuff and all these blocks? I think so. I've been studying, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts from these absolutely insane people that do, and by insane, I mean like incredibly gifted and talented and empowering, like awesome people that do deliverance. And a lot of them do it in the name of Jesus and around the Christian faith. And they talk about so frequently how the first thing that they have to do before they can actually initiate any healing is they have to get rid of the trauma in the body. They have to get rid of the trauma. If they can't get rid of all the trauma, the body can't fully heal itself. And this is why even the Bible says there's certain, what they call demons, but I almost view those as parasites, but that will only leave the body with fasting and prayer. Why would fasting be included in there? Maybe because it's flushing out all of the trauma in this cellular memory water and creating new life and new, freshly clean canvases for the body to then paint on. Wouldn't that make a lot of sense? Man, I might have to just stop that book right there and come back for a part 2, because this stuff is too good. There's one more thing that I wanted to point out as well, and this was the second book, The Seeing Gospel of Peace. Hopefully I can do this before I hit an hour here on this call, but it's all about Jesus talking to people who are sick and diseased and offering them insight and wisdom on how to heal themselves. And it's interesting because in this situation, it wasn't just Jesus walking up to them and saying, "You are healed and it's done." No. He's telling them to do 7-day dry fasts. How has it taken me this long to find this book and to start to piece this stuff together, guys? This makes the Bible way more exciting, in my opinion. Again, I'm not pushing anything down your guys' throat, but like, come on, like there's a reason this was removed. In the first chapter, let me find the good part here. Just hold on, it's worth it. Yeah. And many unclean and sick followed Jesus' words and sought the banks of murmuring streams. They put off their shoes and their clothes. They fasted. They gave up their bodies to the angels of air, of water, of sunshine, right? This whole concept of being in nature while you're doing these fasting. There's a reason for it. And the earthly mother's angels embraced them, possessing their bodies both inwards and outwards. All of them saw all evils, sins, and uncleanliness depart in haste from them. And the breath of some of them became as stinking as that which is loose from the bowels. And some of them had issues of spittle, evil smelling, and unclean vomit rose from their inward parts. All these uncleanlinesses, I don't know if that's the word, uncleanliness, flowed by their mouths, in some by the nose, and others by the ears and the eyes. And many did have abdominal sweat from all their body over all their skin. boils breaking forth in their skin, right? All of which uncleanliness and evil smell came from, and urine flowed abundantly from their body, and in many, their urine was all dried up and became thick as honey as bees. Like this whole concept that this book talks about of like thick orange urine coming out, like the toxins and everything. Some was red or black. And many belched stinking gases from their bowels like the breath of devils, and their stench became so great that none could bear it. And the devils left, I'm skipping another part, and the devils left their bowels in the shape of multitudinous worms, which writhed in impotent rage after the angel of water had cleansed them out of the bowels. And that was from enemas. He was literally teaching these people how to do enemas. That's what he's talking about, like the water. After they would do this fasting, they would cleanse their bowels with water. It basically, guys, I don't know if you've ever heard of the parable of the prodigal son, but it ties the whole story of that to this. And let me just quick read this too. You were like the prodigal son, who for many years did eat and drink and passed his days in riotous with his friends, and every week without his father's knowledge he incurred new debts, squandered all in a few days. All the moneylenders always lent him because his father possessed great riches, and always paid patiently the debts of his son. And in vain did he with fair words admonish his son, for he never listened to the Man, this is getting complicated. But at last his father lost patience and no more paid to the moneylenders the debts of his son. And this is what I wanted to hit on. And Jesus turned to everybody and said, I speak to you in parables that you may better understand God's word. The 7 years of eating and drinking and riotous living are the sins of the past. The wicked creditor is Satan. The debts are diseases. Okay? The heavy labor is pains. The prodigal son, he is yourselves. The payment of the debt is the casting from you of devils and diseases and the healing of your body. The Father is God. Yeah. You have been gluttonous, wine bibbers, gone a whoring, and your past debts have multiplied, and now you must repay them, and payment is difficult and hard. Be not therefore already impatient after the third day, like the prodigal son, but wait patiently for the seventh day, which is sanctified by God, and then go with humble and obedient hearts before the face of your heavenly Father, that he may forgive all of your sins and all of your past debts. I tell you truly, your heavenly Father loves you without end, for he also allows you to pay in 7 days the debts of 7 years. Those that owe the sins and diseases of 7 years, but pay honestly and persevere till the seventh day, to them our heavenly Father forgives the debts of all the 7 years. There's more in here. I could keep going into this, guys, and like these two books, like I maybe made it like maybe halfway through this one. For those of you that have stuck around for this, because this is different. This was a different type of video. I don't typically jump into books like this. But do you see the correlation? Do you see the similarities between this book and the Sea and Gospel of Peace? Where Jesus is clearly talking about 7-day dry fasts, no food or water, and he's also including enemas in it. There's even a story here of him pulling a worm out. That maybe I'll get into that one in the next one, but pulling a worm out of the guy, and all of his ailments and everything go away. It was like as long as the dude was tall. And this book is all about the science and the effect on the biology of the human body. And this is a modern book. as opposed to that one. This is modern. It's talking about the exact same stuff, but from the perspective of the science and the biology of it all. But they have thousands and thousands of people that have done these and gotten the same results. Here's what I'm saying, guys. Let me tie a bow on this if you made it this far. Semen retention is 100% ancient practice that has, in my opinion, been intentionally just misplaced, not passed down to the public. It is allowing us to harness our life force, this energy given to us by God, our creator, source, whatever you want to call it. And to use that to become better versions of yourself, become more in alignment with creation, with the universe, with all this stuff, and just live better lives, live happier lives. More confidence, less anxiety, less depression, less loneliness, more fearlessness, right? All this stuff, guys, that happens. But I would argue that dry fasting is yet another one of these ancient practices that, if we utilize, it vastly transforms our life rapidly, and it can restore us to full health rapidly. And you can combine these two freaking things together, guys. You can combine the power of semen retention, the focus, the energy that you get to be able to become somebody that can push through and actually do this. I wasn't probably going to be somebody that would have done this before I started my semen retention streak, because it takes energy and focus, and it takes willpower, it takes strength, it takes masculinity, guys. It takes masculine action to pull something like this off. But guess what? Semen retention gives you an unlimited supply of that. You just have to aim it at something. So why not take a shot on yourself and start to try something? Why not be the scientist of your life and start running some experiments? Screw what other people say. Like, try some stuff out. Obviously, go slow, be careful, like, be safe when you're doing this stuff, but be the scientist of your own life. Run some experiments. See what is actually true for you. I will be documenting my journey here for you guys on the YouTube channel. That's the whole point of this. So you guys can learn from me, learn from what I'm doing, and yeah, see if it's something that you want to try out. So if you want to if you want to get more knowledge, collect more knowledge, gain more knowledge about this, just follow along on this channel, guys. I'm going to be posting videos of my experiences as I gear up, to the 7-day, as I keep talking about these 2-day ones that I'm doing, all this stuff. And I will say one more thing here too. This was new. I went to Instagram and I typed in the top dry fasting because I wanted to look up more videos, which, by the way, there's thousands. Like, I have watched many of them over the past months. And I typed it in, guys, and they won't let anything pop up. They won't let any accounts pop up. They won't let any videos pop up. They literally had a screen pop up that said, "Do you need help? Here's our help center call number." And it, like, as if there's like a problem that I am looking up the phrase dry fasting. And it's like, oh, click through to content. There's unsafe content. You click the button, it just won't show you any. Isn't that interesting? It's almost like if you and I learn to harness the power of dry fasting in combination with, semen retention, but even of itself, maybe we could heal our bodies and not be dependent on external things. Like, I don't know, subscriptions, meds, traditional Western medicine. Is there a chance? That's where my mind goes. So I'm going to keep doing this. I will keep sharing more with you guys. Hopefully you got some value out of this. Again, this was an unusual video, but I had the urge to talk about it, so here we are. Again, I'm just wrapping up my second day of the dry fast. I'm still not sure. I don't think I'm going to extend this one to 3 days. I'm kind of in this zone right now of just doing this on the weekends and then eating during the week and just kind of gearing up. But I'll keep you posted as I continue to do more of this. Let me know your thoughts, guys. If you made it this far, guys, type in dry fasting or dry fast. Type dry fast in the comments so I know you made it this far. And let me know what you think about all of this. Is it the real deal? Is this real? Is it made up? These books about the science and everything, is it all fake? Or is there something here to this? There's something to look into. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Peace, love, abundance. I will see you guys on the next one. See you later.